What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you guys doing today? Welcome to another exciting episode of Nostalgic Videos. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I go and review movies that either made my childhood or accidentally destroyed them without my knowledge. Zodiac book in one hand, Spider-Man 2 in the other. What can make a man happy, right? Alright, the availability to have so much money to where I could have my own house and make a career out of whatever I choose. Oh well, economy's a thing. I digress. So, ladies and gentlemen, you might be wondering, is this it? Is this where I will be finally talking about the abomination that is Spy Kids 3D? The movie that has literally caused me so much pain just by watching it because of how bad the CGI is? No, actually, no, I am sparing myself of that pain as long as humanly possible. No, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to give you guys a treat. Because we are actually going to be getting a Michael Morbius movie soon, I figured, you know what? Let's give the fans what I've been wanting to give them for some time. And that is my review of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Now, I actually did go on ahead and review the original, but the lighting isn't good, and I'm going to actually go back and do a much better version because I want you guys to have good quality content. So, you know what? Stay tuned for that, as well as my review of Spy Kids 3D. But anyway, so for those who do not know me or who have been on my channel for a while, you know I freaking love Spider-Man so much that when Stan Lee died, may he rest in peace, I made a video and I just thanked him for giving me my favorite video game of all time and my favorite superhero movie of all time. When the first movie came out, it was like a dream come true. But when they were announcing a second one, I was in disbelief. I cannot believe that they are making another movie. I was in love, and I still am. After watching this movie yesterday, I am still in love with this movie. What Sam Raimi was able to do with another story and not make it seem repetitive and not be like, oh, well, you know, let's just do the same movie again, but flip some things. No, this is a good sequel, and I'm just going to go ahead and say, Spider-Man 2 is my favorite superhero movie of all freaking time. And I will stand by that no matter what. I love it more than Avengers Endgame, Avengers Infinity War, any of the other Spider-Man films. Spider-Man 2 is my favorite superhero movie of all time. No matter what. From DC to Marvel, anything else, it's always going to be Spider-Man. Always. That's just a little bit of history about me. So, as a matter of fact, Sam Raimi wants to make sure that in this movie, no one is actually lost, whether you have watched the original or you have not, because the opening title sequence, you know, the one that we got from the first movie, has returned, but instead of it being the web shot all the time, we get like a couple of those, but this beginning sequence is actually a way that fans can get caught up, whether you have seen the first movie and you just don't remember what happened, or people who did not get to watch the first movie, so that way they will not be lost going into the second movie. And the way how Sam Raimi is able to basically combine, you know, Spider-Man No More, which I have not read that comic. I really want to read it. What's funny is I have more Batman comics than I do Spider-Man. I only own like 2 Spider-Man comics, and they're not graphic novels, but I own like quite a few Batman ones. It's funny how that works, isn't it? But the way how he's able to actually take what a superhero's life is like. Now, some people could probably say, the one superhero movie named Kick Butt. I'm not going to say that because if there's like a certain age group that's watching this review, I don't want any harsh language to be in this review. So that movie kind of went into, like, you know, the consequences of innocent people, I guess you could say, with being a superhero, but no superhero movie really goes into what someone's life is like after they become a superhero. And Sam Raimi does that magnificently in this film. And he also expands on the relationship that everybody has with the web slinger, from Aunt May, you know, saying the less we see of Spider-Man, the better. Harry still having that blood-curdling hatred because he feels that Spider-Man killed his father. There's not really a relationship with MJ and Spider-Man. That's really not touched on whatsoever. I actually think Sam Raimi took references from the animated series that came out in 2003, which was on MTV, and he applied some stuff in there. So, you know, when you get scenes with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, you know, Toby, you know, trying to basically be like, you know, will you think about it picking up where we left off? And she was basically talking about, you know, it's basically too late, because in the animated series, MJ was doing anything she could to try to get Peter to go out with her because she loved him, and she knew that he loved her too. So he was basically kind of saying, this happened in the animated series, there's no reason to go into it anymore. He had his opportunity, he didn't act on it, she's moved on. Great way how to do that. Whereas Peter being Spider-Man has also affected his relationship with these people. He doesn't really see Harry that much. He doesn't really call him. He barely talks to his Aunt May. And, you know, MJ's basically saying how he lives in a whole other reality. Sam Raimi does a magnificent job of showing what being a superhero is really like, how one's life can suffer. With Peter having to always be Spider-Man all the time, not really getting to spend much time on schoolwork or his job, or being able to keep up with his bills. He really dives deep into what this dynamic is like, and it is done amazingly. The chemistry with everybody is good, from Tobey Maguire with his friendship with James Franco. James Franco having an amazing reaction when he finds out who Spider-Man really is. He was able to go from shocked to heartbreak in like a millisecond. It was great. It was great acting done by James Franco. Whereas you have MJ basically kind of having her heart broken because Peter didn't show up for a play. Peter's always being late because of his duties as Spider-Man. Now, I do like how they actually were able to put in the whole entire thing of Spider-Man's going off and doing something, but if someone's in danger, he will stop what he's doing and go save those people. I liked how they captured that instance. They even do that in the Ultimate Spider-Man game when you're actually chasing after somebody. The destruction that all they cause, other people are affected, and you actually have to stop what you're doing, and you have to go save them. I like that Sam Raimi put that in this movie as well. Now, one thing I know a lot of people were kind of on the fence on was Alfred Molina. I'm probably butchering that. I'm sorry. A lot of people are kind of on the fence about his portrayal of Doc Ock, and I personally loved it. Of course, though, everybody probably here has been like, well, Nick, you like everything. That's actually not true. I hate a lot of movies, but I also love a lot of movies. How I kind of view his portrayal as Doc Ock in this movie, because like he goes from being this wise, humble, scientific man to someone who's lost everything and he's just wanting to achieve his dream. Yes, now a lot of people have said, well, you know, him becoming a criminal doesn't really make sense because that's not who he was. He wasn't greedy or anything that kind of builds to a supervillain. However, what I kind of think Sam Raimi does here is when he introduces the arms, which, by the way, I love how the arms are practical and are only CGI when need to be. They look great. I love it. Otto Octavius is at his presentation, and you know he's talking like what the arms are for and like how they're controlled. Well, someone asks, well, if the technology is so advanced, couldn't that make you vulnerable to them? And he's like, yes, which is why I have this little inhibitor chip back here, which basically protects my brain function. It allows me to be in control of the arms instead of them controlling me. And then when everything goes to heck, the chip is gone and the arms are in control. So how I look at it, and I cannot believe I'm referencing this, there's an interesting twist in the remake of RoboCop. I know, please don't come after me. I've got some Batman Shurikens and I am not afraid to use them. Where they basically talk about like how Murphy believes he's in control, but he's not. So how I view it is when the tentacles start coming alive and they're basically manipulating him, twisting his brain to what they need him to be, he's not really in the driver's seat. He thinks that he is, but he's not. The illusion of control, and that's what I feel like the arms are doing. He's not really acting like himself, and then when him and Peter come face to face for the final time, and we get Peter delivering the same lines of dialogue to Octavius that Octavius relayed to Peter earlier on in the film, it kind of snaps him back into reality. Also, the arms are down. He's, kind of like just by himself. The arms are not manipulating his brainwaves, and seeing how he was able to go and destroy what he had to destroy to make sure people didn't die, because the speech from Aunt May, sometimes we have to give up the thing that we want the most to do the right thing, even our dreams. I love what this movie was able to do. I love the dynamic with everyone in this movie and how things were setting up for Spider-Man 3, and it's a shame what we got with Spider-Man 3. Sam Raimi, that was not your fault. My favorite scene in this entire movie is when Peter actually gets his powers back and he is able to get his suit back, and we get that awesome fight scene between him and Ock on the train. So many good camera angles. The choreography is great. The CGI is good whenever it is used. And another thing that I love is being able to actually see Tobey Maguire in the suit without the mask and actually seeing him suit up to go be Spider-Man. I love stuff like that because to me, it's like, okay, the actor really loves what he's doing and he's not afraid to show that he's the one in the costume. It's not some stunt double all the time. I love stuff like that. To me, it really submits the fact this person is playing this character no matter what the cost. I love how they do it with Ben Affleck and Batman vs. Superman, him taking the mask off and him being in the costume, or Christian Bale in The Dark Knight Rises. Actually, in all three of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, he takes off the mask. And I like seeing that, and I even like seeing Peter without the mask doing superhero stuff. I love stuff like that. I really do. It is something I'm always going to love and cherish. These movies have a special place in my heart because my mom and dad took me to see these. My dad took me to see the first one. My mom and dad took me to see the second one, and I had actually just gotten out of the hospital. These movies are always going to have a special place in my heart. To me, there's nothing really wrong with this movie at all. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Still not my absolute favorite. That's always going to be Toy Story. That was the first movie I ever seen in theaters. But guys, put in the comments below, what do you think about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think about it? What did you think about the fact that we got this amazing sequel from the first one? Oh, and here's actually something else that's interesting. So, I don't know how well you guys can see that. Let me see here. So, if you see, you can see Doc Ock in actually Spider-Man's eye. Well, I had the VHS version of the first Spider-Man movie. I had a different box art than other people. Some people had... Let me see. So, some people had this one. When I had the VHS, it is the one where he's... Actually, I wonder if you can see that. Probably can't. But I had that box cover. Now, if you had this box cover, what you could actually be able to see, you can see Green Goblin in one eye, but if you actually really squint and pay attention, you can see Doc Ock in the other one, which in the first movie, Sam Raimi was going to have Doc Ock and Green Goblin in the same movie. That might be why that's there. But it also could have been a subtle hint of this is what the next villain is going to be. And I've been looking in the eye of the second movie to try and see what I can see, but I really can't see anything. But when I saw that on the box art of the first movie for VHS, I was like, oh, so Sam Raimi was hinting he was already going to do Doc Ock. So I liked how he was subtly saying who the villains were going to be in the next movie. Guys, I've had such a great time talking about this movie. Let's get this video some likes. Don't forget to web shoot that subscribe button. Also, that's another thing. We got to see more of Spider-Man's arsenal, from just the web slinging to the web balls, and he used them on Ock and some criminals. Guys, I'm going to go watch some more movies. I'm going to make some more content. I hope you are enjoying 2020. It's going to be a good year. Have a good day, guys.